Production.
Welcome back, everyone, once again to a Coming of Age, the podcast.
The coming of age.
That beautiful voice you heard right there is my partner in crime, Frankness.
Frankness is here. Hello, the good people of Canada, of America, of the South Americas, Europe, East Europe, China, Africa, Australia, everybody, man. Because you know what? We worldwide now. Mr. Worldwide. Pitbull, I'm sorry. You guys take a step aside. It's us now.
Watch us have all restrictions everywhere though. Like I'm saying, we're worldwide without like regional restrictions. That beautiful voice you hear right now is your other humble host and confidant. How about that? Confidant. Can I be
How are you calling yourself a confidant? See, that's the thing that gets you so annoyed. You're like, oh, confidant, that beautiful voice you hear is your humble host. Like no one says, oh, I'm beautiful, but I'm humble. Oh, and then you give yourself the tag of confidant. I didn't say I need a confidant.
Yo, I am a confidant. And my name is Azam, and this is a coming of age, and this is number 40 freaking 2, Frankie. 40 freaking 2 in the book.
Who are you a confidant for? Still trying to figure it out.
I'm just a confidant. Like people are just always putting their confidence into me. Confiding into me.
Confiding. All right.
But another one to go, Frankie. This one's gonna be a nice one. This one's gonna be I think this one's gonna fall in line, to me at least, kind of falls in line with the value index, kind of evaluating what we see right off the bat. But we'll get into that in a second. I have no feedback, as I mentioned to you, on the last episode. It's the first time I've got no feedback. Good amount of listens, but no feedback on the body language thing. I don't know if mans are scared to just say, what was good, what was not good. But yeah, last week's episode was fun, and I think that I deemed it part 1, and we definitely have to revisit with the part 2.
It was really good. I like the topics that when they naturally flow, like you almost don't even have to think about what you're gonna say. It's just the conversation can go on and on. To be honest, and don't get me wrong, like most of our topics are pretty much like winging it. You can say what you got to say, but there are some that you have to actually prepare for. But again, body language was just one where it's just you can talk for hours on that. Easily. Like we got stuck on just talking about we always do like relationships or women, guy, girls and stuff, but like you can go on for so long. So I love those ones. It's easy.
Yeah, and with that being said, we're gonna roll into
I feel like you're just like waiting for my rant to finish.
Yeah. And just like with that being said, like anything. With anything you could say, there's nothing. If I just say "with that being said," it just rolls right in. It just transitions right into that.
I'll give it to you. I'll allow it.
But yeah, we got another one, Frankie. Tell them what we're talking about this week.
With that being said,
see that
this week, it's a good one.
Yes.
This one is simply put entitled "Judging Character."
Yes, simple, and we're not pretentious. Listen, I don't know if Frank's gonna call himself pretentious, but I don't think it's being. I'm not gonna say I'm pretentious. I know I've called myself confidant. I've called myself all these other names, but I don't think this is being pretentious at all. If that is what comes to your mind first, as soon as you heard Frank say that. But I think this is something we all do.
I don't think that would be the first thing. Like, this is a very, like, everyone judges character. If there's anybody out there who says they don't judge character, they're lying.
Maybe that's my way of, like, pre-warning, like, what you're about to hear. Because we're going to probably say, like, all the things, all the flags, all the points where we're, So, anyways.
Yeah, if anything, you should be taking out your notebook or your iPad or whatever you write on and start taking notes, because this is going to save you some heartache in the future or bring you some good fortune.
Hey, you always got a nice positive twist on things.
100%. Come
Yeah,
on.
very nice.
I'm actually not even an optimistic person. I'm a realist, which is just
And
another
there's the
way of saying
balance.
that I'm a pessimist.
And if you wanted balance, ladies and gentlemen, there it was.
There you have it. So, judging character is this week's episode.
Yes.
This is even really going to be subcategories, but I mean, if you want, I guess we'll first start off with talking about judgment at first sight. It's a little play on words if you guys haven't noticed. Instead of love at first sight, it's judgment at first sight. So it's almost like first impression. First, there are some times like you feel like you can automatically just boom tell what someone's all about from their first sit down, first words, first actions. So we'll get into that. And that doesn't even have to be about even just like first dates. It can be first business interactions, first, passing by, first time meeting a friend, first time meeting parents, first time everything, right? Then after judgment at first sight, then we can actually talk about. Actually, no, sorry, Zam, you said you had a secondary category you wanted. Before I forget it.
It was like the talking about the love part, like the love at first sight stuff, or the us being judged, or sorry, it was love at first sight stuff. It was does that actually happen, and where do you judge? Like, where does judgment play in that? And also the are we aware of being judged, like me and you?
Yes. Yes.
Are we aware of what we're saying and how we're presenting ourselves, like in the moment,
Or have you ever caught yourself being judged?
Yeah.
Red-handed.
Sure.
So let's get right into it. Judgment at first sight.
Yes.
What that means. Quite simply put, there are some times where I'll meet someone and I'm like I take the book by the cover kind of situation. I'm like, yo, this is what you're about, whether it's positive or negative. Some examples is like if I met a friend or met someone, I should say, and they just have such a crazy positive attitude, I might automatically think that A, maybe they are a positive person, or B, this sounds a little bad, maybe they're just phony and fake and they're just trying to portray that they're all happy when really they're not.
And once again, the balance, ladies and gentlemen. The balance. The balance, that is frankness.
Listen, you gotta take both sides, man.
Do you
take both sides?
Now, do you consciously do you consciously calculate that in the moment and like have inner dialogue to yourself and say, or do you kind of have
100%.
an autopilot and kind of so like if your mind goes, hey, this person isn't a positive person, hey, this person kind of maybe seems a little too happy, maybe it's a little phony kind of thing, does that change the way you approach them, or do you kind of just hold that in your brain and kind of just move on?
No, I mean, it's funny because I guess if the person comes off as positive, whether it's authentic, not authentic, a little too much or whatever, I feel like positive vibes, like I treat all the same. I just kind of carry it, I don't try to equal it because I just can't. But I have the same, I have a normal conversation. On the flip side, though, if it's someone who's negative, then yes, that can definitely change the script for me and how I would deal with them. Because usually I'd probably actually try to get out of the conversation faster, right?
Where do you think that comes from? Like it's all that stuff comes from. You think that comes from like? I have my own idea of where it all comes from, but do you think it comes from something like from your childhood, seeing how your parents, seeing the people who you grew up around?
What, the positivity or the negativity?
Just the overall like judging a character of somebody, like on presentation or just speaking or anything like that.
I think it's society, to be honest. I mean, I think society has taught us to automatically be judgmental. Even just from social media alone kind of pushes us to do that. So I feel when I was younger, I feel you always judge to some degree, even from when you're a young age. Even when you're in elementary school or or preschool, whatever, You're choosing who to play blocks with. For example, you're choosing to hang out with at recess. You're choosing who
Hmm.
to do
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
assignment in university with. You're choosing, whatever. So you naturally do judge people by their character, how they carry themselves, or by what they have, of course. But I feel like it's just grown, it's become more apparent, or more, there's been more emphasis on it nowadays, I feel. Because again, like nowadays, like it's such a judgmental world, right? Um, especially with, I'll even go out and say, with all the social injustice with regards to racism, indigenous black people, poverty, everything. I feel that judgment is inevitable. It's almost like at the forefront of your mind. You know what I mean? Someone pulls up
Yeah.
to your house, or to a wherever you're going. You see them step out of a fancy car. You automatically judge them, thinking they're a douchebag, when really they might just be the nicest person in the world, and they just finally got themselves something nice, right?
I mean, I think so. I guess where my narrative is gonna come from is like from a point of where I grew up. So I'm gonna look at it like growing up in the area where I grew up. It's like I felt like I saw everything and every kind of people, or most
Okay.
kinds of people. So I feel like the judgment comes when you haven't seen that kind of person. So like if I haven't seen a person that's like coming up in a fancy car or something like that, I'm gonna have that idea. But given the fact that I grew up in like a certain area, I feel like I was able to see, which was like a lower income area. You're kind of able
Yep.
to see different kinds of people, different colors of people, different languages of people, all that kind of stuff. So like immediate judgment, a lot of times, at least for me, doesn't like spring up. I do find that when I speak to a lot of people who've, I mean, I'm gonna call it straight, like people who've gone to like private schools, people who've grown up with a lot more privilege, a lot more money, a lot more, I guess, access to things. They a lot of times seem to be a lot more judgmental of uh, the same kind of people who I have seen. You know what I mean? Just because they
So
haven't seen those people all the time.
so here's the difference, though.
So
So we got to make sure that we're clear on what we mean by judgment, because we specifically said judge of character,
yeah, yeah. So
right?
I'm telling you, like that I have been privy to conversations when the person who would look like me has left the
Mm-hmm.
conversation because the person who doesn't look like me, let's say a white man,
Yep.
hasn't been around a lot of people like me. When they see the other person leave, literally they've had the conversation, a clear conversation, same conversation me and him would have had. Um, Literally, that person walks away, and it's literally judgment on that person's clothing, judgment on the person's
Oh,
uh,
I see what you're saying.
on the person, what his words were, and how he spoke them, based on they're already I guess maybe a preconceived, a pre-programmed thing of that person and what kind of person that person that looks like them is. So I feel
I
like this
feel
is
like
yeah, I feel
the
it's
two
just
biggest things for me that catches my eye when um it's just called for first impressions, because it is judgment at first sight.
yeah,
Um, or I should say three things. One is the choice of words. Okay, so someone's choice of words, whether it's highly intellectual, more chill, or if they're very bold speaking, kind of gives me an indication, not of who they are, but it gives me a piece of the puzzle, right? Like if I meet someone, for example, I met people who come in like off, I never met them before, and off the bat they'll make like a black joke or something. I'm just
yes,
like, okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just
right.
means that you are racist as hell, or maybe you have an open mind, I guess. I don't
Or you maybe feel
know.
comfortable in these spaces, maybe because
You feel comfortable,
like
exactly. Uh,
sometimes to a fault I feel that way too. Sometimes when I see like or hear people, and in the last few weeks I've heard a lot of people, I do wonder if without digging in, that the character of that person may think that nothing what they're saying is wrong because maybe they have a group of friends
who
that
they
they're
do that all the
able
time,
to,
right?
yeah, that it's a very simple,
Yep.
it's very natural, and it's very like, hey, what's the problem here kind of thing, you know what I
Yep.
mean?
But like
But
more so
yeah,
at work, if someone goes and back to choice of words is if some people just speak for the sake of speaking, and if I meet them and they're just spitting BS or like very
Yeah, that's
known
the worst.
facts and
Yeah,
try to sound smart, I'm just like,
yeah,
okay, I understand what you're trying to do. Second thing I check out is their how they carry themselves, right?
yeah.
So if someone walked into a room with their head down, for example, versus head up, or if they walk into a room and beeline to go introduce themselves to someone instead of going to a corner and kind of surveying the area, um, or if they like just just how someone carries themselves can
No,
tell
sure,
you a
sure,
lot
sure.
about them. Like I can be like, oh, you're very confident, or you're very, maybe you're an introvert, you try to keep to yourself, or maybe you're very analytical, careful, whatever you want to call it. And then so words, how they can carry themselves, and then I had one more, but I actually just forgot it.
I had I had it. You're just talking about somebody like in a situation at work, and it actually backfired on me one time where I was I feel like I was like, to me, I was trying to incorporate this person into the conversation because I initially in my mind prejudged them as being like, introverted, very
Mhm.
quiet, but having conversations with this person privately, I knew that they had a lot to say, and I knew
Yes.
that they knew what they were talking about. So I remember it's I remember like it was yesterday that I kept let's say the guy's name was I don't know, Derek. Like his name's not Derek, but I'll say his name's Derek. And I was like, actually, Derek, did you have anything to add? Derek never put his hand up, like questions part where he went by. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Derek, did you have something to add? And I remember
Nothing.
hinting to him before that. I was like, hey, man, listen. I remember going over to him, and he wasn't meeting any other guys in the boardroom. He just kind of walked in, kind of stood behind his chair, waiting for everybody else to sit down. Um, I knew already that the people around me were judging him, like judging
Mm.
him, him as a person, him even being like, why is this guy even in here? Because it was a fairly
Mhm.
upper level meeting. Um, and I remember after that, he goes to me, "Hey, Azam, why did you keep calling me out? Like, why'd you keep calling me out?" And I was like, "Oh, I wasn't trying to call." I was like, "I wasn't trying to call you out, man. I just know you helped me with this thing. We all we all put a lot of effort into this thing. I knew you had a lot to say." And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I get ready." It's like he's just like, what do you say? Like, I get just really nervous when I'm in like around,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
upper management people. And I remember like I thought to myself like, you know what, I'm not gonna do that again because I just put him in a situation where he was not comfortable, and I should
Yeah.
have respected his character. You know what I mean? His
Yeah.
actual like knowing him a little, at least a little bit, but I also didn't want him to be portrayed as this like guy who just shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? A guy who just like,
Hmm.
because I know how the other guys talk when he's not
Fair
there.
enough.
You know what I mean? I know how they
So
would
you're trying to
judge them.
protect him, but at the same time, you kind of
Yeah, he was like,
threw
"Yo,
him under the
Azam,
bus.
Why'd you keep calling me out?" He's like, "Azam, why'd you keep calling me out?" in the meeting?" I was like, "No, dude, you had so much to say, man. We worked on this." I was trying to, thinking, but I knew
So
he
what
felt it.
about
Yeah.
judging people based on who they're actually around? I've
Oh
done
yeah,
that a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you?
So like I might not even have even said a word to this person or heard them say anything.
Yeah.
Never seen them before, don't know what they're about, don't know what to do. But if I see them hanging out with a certain crew or certain type of people, automatically I can place them in the same category, whether it's in high regards or not. And that's just like judgment by association, right?
Right, right, right.
Like that's crazy, isn't it? Like the human being, the human mind, and I am a culprit of this, is capable of looking at someone and thinking they know what that person is about just because of the people around them.
But that's why I was
Not
trying to
even
pick your.
knowing if they're close, not
Yeah,
even
yeah,
knowing
yeah,
if
yeah.
they're, just like nothing. Just like, oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
hang
They
out with this
showed up.
person,
Yeah, yeah.
therefore you suck. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Crazy.
Because you already know the people, like especially if you know the people that they show up with, you're like, "Oh, this guy's a jerk, just like the rest of them." Like they're all the same. Like, you know what I mean? This guy's.
Or you could have had beef with someone that he's hanging out with. And automatically
Oh,
you hate that
true,
man for no
true,
reason.
true.
Imagine have beef with you.
True, true. True, true, true. That is a big one, and I feel like that's why I was trying to pick your brain earlier about like, do you do those calculations on the spot, and are you conscious of those, like your inner your inner voice saying to yourself and pointing out that person, or or are you on like autopilot where you kind of just
Listen, I
yeah
would like to say that I am always fully in tune with my consciousness and always like being fair in my mind, but 100% there are times where like, I'm
yeah
not in tune. Like
right
I've already, prejudged based on some arbitrary fact and I naturally act on it,
act on it
whether
right
it's again positive or negative. For example, I'm a very trusting person, right? Like I like
right
to believe that I have faith in humanity, and I like to trust people. I give people my trust and have them lose it, rather than people say you have to earn my trust,
you give a
right?
benefit of the doubt, is that what you're saying? You kind of give them
Yes,
more benefit,
but
yeah
sometimes I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't. And like my mind kind of ignores it because I'm like, oh no, we gotta bring some positivity in this world, trust people and whatever. Then you get screwed. You're like, yeah, I should have known because he had a sign literally on his chest saying, "Don't
don't
trust
do
me."
just
But I ignored it. You know what I mean?
you
So
thought you'd be the one to like you're gonna be the one to
break the
have
mold.
success yeah break the mold, you're gonna have success. You think
No,
that
so yeah,
yeah
I definitely slip up 100%. Like you can't be on all the time. Well, you can, I guess, but you're like a robot.
So do you think that it's do you think you have a higher and do you have like a more in tune antenna when it comes to women, or do you think that's the same across the board? Like do you kind of like back in your dating days, like if you saw or went somewhere, were you kind of more quick to paint women with the same brush, or quick to paint guys with the same brush? Like like
It's hard
there's
to
some
answer that
yeah.
because growing up, I always knew I was gonna be with Cece, so I would automatically just
Yo,
try to
big up
envision every
yourself,
woman
Frank.
as.
Yo, big up yourself. Brr, 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 brr. Yo, big up a man like Frank. Yo, nice one. Yo, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. Even I gotta respect that. Yo, I gotta respect that. I got no jokes. I got no jokes. I gotta respect that. I thought he was coming with some. I gotta be honest with you. I looked at him in the eyes and I thought he was coming with something serious. That was serious. I'm just being that.
You thought I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
coming with
yeah.
some heat?
Something else. Yeah, yeah. You got me with that. You got me with that. That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
With
Shout out to
women
CC.
growing up. With women growing up, no, actually. So,
You think you're
I'll
all
be
wrong?
like,
You're just wrong. You're
what?
wrong. Were you wrong a lot of the time?
No. Like, I truly believe same thing. So just how I have a lot of trust in people.
Yeah.
I had a lot of trust in women growing up. And no, I literally, I would meet someone. I was very innocent. Like I meet someone and
Oh yeah. Right.
I just think, oh, it's a woman. Just, she's cool, talk,
Yeah.
whatever. Like I guess, sorry. I guess if there was judgment, it's when like, if I did go on like first dates, then yeah, I'm judging on a first date, trying to see, okay, what's she about? Is she, compatible, blah, blah, blah. But with regards to like, I never had like a standard per se for
But
women
you were
thinking
more
like,
the
oh, all
you
women
were,
are evil or anything like that.
but you admittedly were more maybe the innocent one in the date or in those moments. Like you were the more like especially a young Frank, like you were the innocent kind of more like not
What do you mean by innocent? When I say innocent,
yeah
I mean
okay.
as in like I didn't run through girls like Azam.
Well, not so much like that. I mean, come on. Like even I knew. Even you know what? I couldn't even get the sick line out. I was gonna be like, yo, even I knew I was gonna be with Saida for the rest of my life.
This guy just like stuttering.
I couldn't get it out. No, not like that, but like, okay, like so for me, back in those days.
Tell me about you so that way I understand what you're trying to ask.
So like back in those days, no matter how nice a girl looked, if I noticed, especially like in school, because in school there's a longer play, like meaning like you could be watching somebody from Monday and then maybe Friday is when you go talk to them, or like you could watch somebody from
or like
this month and then, yeah, exactly. And like if I noticed a girl like talked a lot, like was kind of like a gossipy girl, yo, I don't care how nice she was. I remember man's being like, yo, why don't you talk to her? Yo, yo, she wants to talk to you. Like, nah. I used to say nah, because I knew the character of that person would just blow everything up. Like they would
I see what you're
literally,
saying.
yeah, and like that was my
Okay.
that was my
So then-
strategy.
So then my answer is yes, actually. Yes.
That you were the
Um,
innocent one in those
There
things, right?
were 2 instances where girls wanted to get with me, and like they're very open, and admittedly like, oh, you're cool, and I want this, and I straight up told them it's not gonna work. They're like, what do you mean it's not gonna work? I'm like, it's not gonna work. She's like, what do you mean? We're like, why? How do you know this? I'm like, I know that your personality and your attitude
Yes.
is not gonna jive with me.
Yes.
And instead of me, putting you through, or you putting me through
Yeah, exactly.
a roller coaster or whatever,
Yeah.
I just save us the trouble. And I'm being honest. I just know it's not going to work. And they were actually a little upset because they're like, how do you know this? Like, I'm giving you a chance. It's like, it's not that I'm not giving you a chance. Like, and this is someone I actually knew.
No,
So
sure,
I'm like,
sure.
I actually know you, and I know that you will get on my last nerves.
Oh,
I cannot do it.
The girls that were
we actually ended up
friends
being
with
cool
us.
after. Like I guess she accepted my,
respected it.
like she's like respected my maturity, but no, I straight up, I'm like, can't do it. I'm sorry.
How old were you then?
Not gonna happen.
Teens or like 20s or what?
No, I was 20s. I was probably like 20. How old was I?
Man, imagine having that conversation in your
I don't know.
teens, dude.
20 something. I don't know.
Yo, imagine having that conversation in your teens and you're not getting that same reaction.
No,
I remember hanging up
in my teens. I was just happy if I got like anybody to talk to me. I was like, oh shit, hey, what's up?
like I remember saying to this girl,
hey, I'm a new girl. Oh shit, she's talking to me. Yo,
I got the new thing.
All this is going on in my head. Meanwhile, in real life, I'm just standing there with blank stare, with like just drool going down my mouth.
Yo, I had the best job in high school. Let me tell you this. Let me give you this
Best
little
job?
Yeah, best job. And this ties in
Okay.
with what we're talking about. It's not just a sidebar to big up myself. Yo, big up myself. But it's not a sidebar to do that. It's not a sidebar to do that. But I was a peer mediator because I had gotten into some trouble early on in high school, and then they flipped it and it was like, you know what, Azam? Why don't you become a peer mediator? If people have like further conflicts, fights, and stuff like that, you sit in as a a student person in the room. Anyways, part of that also was any new students that came to the school, I was assigned to them to they would shadow me, or I would take them to their classes. So any new gal coming to this school, buddy, any new girl, I had first, like, not crack or dibs. I had first talk, first chat, seeing what's going on. I already and what's great about that is from a boy perspective, young boy perspective, you already know they didn't got ton of friends here. They ain't got like all this this huge social
Jeez.
group. This whole social
You took that
group.
scenario and you flipped it to your benefit, eh?
They ain't got all this. So I was there. Yo, hey, yo, everything good? Yeah, man. Yo, Keisha, everything good? Yo, Keisha, how's everything going? Yo, Keisha was nice, man. Keisha was only there. Keisha was only there like a half a year.
Yo, you just said her name like
Yeah.
8 times in the last
Yeah, okay. Yo,
5
man,
seconds.
because she was very nice and she was very kind, but she also was very violent, and reason why she was no longer at the school was because she got into a fight with somebody, and that's why I didn't talk to her. Because when they first told me, when I talked to her, like what happened to her at her other school, she was telling me she got in a fight with this girl, blah 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 blah, and she had gotten suspended a few times, and her parents, switched schools. I was like, in my mind, yo, she's pretty, she's nice. I'm not talking to this girl, Keisha.
So yeah, so that's a good example. So then, there's a such thing as where you judge on character, of character,
Yes.
based on actions.
Yes.
Because character isn't actions. Character is your character.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just similar how, like, if I see a girl, I can see I can see a girl and she is smoking. I'm like, whew. Like driving by, walking, whatever. I'm like, ooh, like what? Who is that, right?
Yeah.
But the second I see her take a cigarette out, instantly turned off.
And
but I also
don't you
like,
judge, or
unfortunately, in my mind, I'm also kind of like, man, if you're there killing your lungs, what does that mean by your character? Like, do you not care about yourself? Do you not care about the people? Do you just go, Oh my gosh. Ugh.
You know what? I'm gonna be a little pretentious right now. I get that feeling when I see women, especially when women light up now. When I see women smoking cigarettes now, my mind goes, "How did you pick that up now? There's no commercials. They're not in movies no more. Like, how'd you get that? Like, you chose that? Like, no, you're something wrong. Like, already my mind's like, yo, you're something wrong with you, and it's right off, man, big time right off. Sharon
It's the
Stone, Sharon
worst.
Stone, I think smoked cigarettes for a long time. And I had no idea, and I had a big crush on Sharon Stone. And I remember
Oh.
I remember her like ashing out a cigarette in like a interview, and I was like,
You're just like,
no, no,
no.
no, 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 no,
Oh, that's
no,
funny.
no, no. Have you
All right,
ever?
so
Yeah, go
let's
ahead.
jump to because I think you're about to do the same thing.
Yes.
So you want to talk about love at first sight, right?
Yeah, and more in terms of like again, I was kind of like, when I thought about this subject, I was really thinking about like, is there a difference between when we judge men or men in a group with other men, or is there a difference between when we see a girl by herself or a girl in a group with other girls? Meaning to say, like, you had touched on it earlier, where like you might know the couple of girls in that group, and now you've painted that girl with the same brush. You know, she might, she also might have interest in you, but would you have the same interest in her aside from her being by herself? Does it make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Actually,
So like,
perfect
let's say
sense.
you go somewhere and you see somebody, or you start a new job, you walk in there, you make eye contact with a female, and you're just like, whoo, like you felt like something go on there. Does
Hmm.
that cloud does that cloud the rest of your judgment? Does that change the way you speak to that person? Like after feeling that way, like does that change the way like yeah, does that just change your whole approach? You know, not like, and if
I
she,
would
yeah, yeah,
say
yeah.
absolutely yes.
The truth is
Reason
always great.
is because of this.
Yeah.
Let's say so we're talking about strictly seeing a girl and you're actually interested,
Yes.
right? Quote unquote. Okay. So I'm gonna quote 112.
Okay.
So there's a song where he always goes,
Cupid.
I can see you over there, just chilling with your girlfriends. Can't believe you're by yourself. You should be here with me, right? Now, I'm
Hey,
gonna
yo,
quote
hold on,
that
hold
for a
on, nah,
reason.
nah, nah. Yo, big up Frank, man. Yo,
Yo,
big up Frank for that. Big up Frank for that. Yo, I can't even, usually every week I say something like, rag on you, break your ball. I can't say nothing wrong this week, man.
yo. So I say that because of this. Let's say, yeah, I just clapped. Let's say, yes, you're
Going
wherever
in.
you are, a bar. Keep it simple, a bar.
Yeah.
If you see, the scenario can mean so many different things based on the following. If you see a girl just with a group of other single girls, you can be thinking, oh, girls night out, they're having fun. Probably have to go in with a group, like with another guys, because it's hard to go and pick one from the whole, from the flock, right?
Yeah, okay.
And then you automatically think, okay, they're here having a good time. You got to have the same energy. If you see a girl with a group of couples, woo, that's a completely different situation. Completely.
Yeah.
Because now you can actually go in there on your own. Because now she's, the outcast, and she's out there with her friends, and she just happened to be by
And
herself,
she
right?
probably is the lone one, like the single one.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you see, and then the scenario is completely different. If you see a girl by herself, like for whatever reason,
yeah, sure.
then it's like, okay, that's actually more confusing because now it's like, okay, is she here
Yeah,
by herself?
exactly.
She wants to be talked to, or she's actually here because she doesn't want to be talked to.
Right.
Like some girls didn't know. It's like, I just want to have a drink and relax by myself, right? So you're running calculations in your mind,
Yeah, pure
and
calculation.
and the part of that's more so on
But there
the
was a spark,
approach.
right? There was a spark there.
Well,
Right?
that's just
yeah.
purely
There's like,
laws. That's just attraction.
no, but
though,
that's
right?
just
At this
but
point,
there
it's
was
only attraction.
but there was good enough spark there to maybe it's not love at first sight, but like you like what you see, right? There's something there.
What I'm
Right?
gonna get at though is
Okay.
now like if you go and approach this girl, let's say you say you know what, whatever the situation is, you're gonna go talk to her, right? That is where those first 8 seconds, 8 to 10 seconds
Mm.
is going to give you, yeah, you can almost see into the future, right? Like if you go and you talk to a girl, whatever it is, where she's with a group of girls, group of couples, by herself, and you just go say, whatever your line is. I was just going to say something, but I'll completely out myself on my pickup lines, even though we already had an episode on that. But if you go and you say something slick, whatever it is,
Yeah.
if you go, fine. If you go just say, hey, I saw you over here just chilling by yourself. Just wondering if you want some company. Simple as that, whatever it is.
Hey,
If she
yo,
is
Frank,
automatically
what is going on this week? Yo, Frank, you get sweet up. Yo, up here sweet up this week, eh? You got me, my heart fluttering over here. Woo!
But again, if you see that she is slightly receptive, not even 100%, but she might be like,
Yeah. Yes.
you might think, oh, she's thinking about it, right?
Yes.
And you're automatically thinking, okay, maybe, like, once you feel like a girl is, so this is what I'm getting to. Once you feel a girl is open to even just having a conversation, you automatically, in your mind, in that moment, think, oh, this girl is wonderful, she's cool, she can talk to people, no problem,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. But if a girl, for whatever reason, maybe she had a shitty day, or she's just not, if she turns you down, you're automatically thinking, oh, she's a bitch, she's a snob, why wouldn't she want to talk to me? Or,
Yes.
blah, 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 blah,
Right,
blah.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
That's
all
what I'm
that,
trying
all
to
that
get
stuff.
at, sorry.
Yeah. Because the problem can't be
it's
you,
very
right?
situational.
Because what
Sorry?
happens, like mentally, what happens is if you were to take a step back, it's like you can't see the problem being you, right? You can't see the problem being your
Men
line.
are never the problem.
Right, exactly.
I'm just joking.
No, but you know what I mean? Like you'll always like that is a very common, especially in the West Indian community. I was like there's a very funny thing that's come out in recent time, and it's something I've seen throughout my lifetime. With uncles
What's
and
that?
cousins and stuff like that, where like man's like, yo, sweetie, come here, red dress, yo, white shorts, come here now, and the girl just totally ignored it. Yo, bitch, yo, I don't
Yeah,
want you.
yeah.
You don't
But-
want you to.
But that part is that's purely the ego part.
That's
right?
super
That's
ego,
because you
yeah.
got turned down. You have to have some kind of.
But imagine you get to the
um,
point of approach, right? And there's a conversation. So that's what I was trying to get to. Like, imagine in your scenario where you want to do that. You are doing that. You are like, yo, red shorts comes over. And you're like, yo, da da da. And it's not good. Like, you know what I mean? It's not, what you're saying is not good. You know? She sees you with like 15 guys. And it's just like her and her friend, you know what I mean? And there's nothing there, there's no back and forth there. There's nothing kismet there. There's nothing that can happen there because she's probably now, and we're probably going to get to this, where she judged you, right? On who you're with, how it
But I
looks,
guess-
how her view looks looking at you, and how you're
Here's the thing,
speaking
though.
to
I
her,
think
right?
I think it takes the person to. You have to have the willingness or the understanding that, how can I put this? It takes both parties to realize that maybe the circumstances are not ideal,
Perfect. Yeah.
but the person might be ideal.
Right.
For example, if you can be at a club with your boys, you have some girls in your booth, whatever, and obviously not the best time to talk. But if you just you can not talk to a girl all night. She can just be hanging around.
Yes.
You know that last call,
Yes.
lights go on, you're like, all right, yo, let me beeline it. You go get that number quick, right? And
Right.
there's absolutely nothing to the conversation. Hey girl, yo, let me have your number. That's all it is. She gives you your number, and then so technically she might be thinking, oh, I was just the last catch for him. You might be thinking, she gave me her number, easy picking. But then if you actually have
Right.
actually legitimate one-on-one date a week later, it might be one of the best conversations you had. It's like, oh, whoa, this was actually amazing. You know what I mean? I'm like, so that's the thing, like judgment at first sight when it comes to love or love at first sight. Again, I personally don't believe in love at first sight, like literally love. I believe in infatuation at first sight, interest at first sight, curiosity at first sight. But love is a combination of so many attributes. It's impossible to have that at first sight.
Yeah, I feel like the people who do have that, like that feeling in those stories, I feel like they must have no apprehension. You know what I mean? Like they must have no they must have no stop in their mind of like, hey, this oh, you like this person might be married, they might be taken, they might not want anyone. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like
well,
because
most of the times when
yeah,
people refer to love at first sight, like I don't believe that anybody in the right mind would actually say, I was standing here, I saw a girl 20 meters away, and the second I saw her, I fell in love. It's like, no. The second you saw her, you were probably just horny as hell, and you just like, you were
yeah, it
interested.
was you were
That's one.
you confused
But,
that feeling with another
yeah, you
feeling, right?
confuse it. But maybe when you finally met her and talked to her,
Right,
then maybe
right,
you're like,
right.
oh, I can love this
Yeah,
girl.
I
I mean,
like
that's a
both
big
things
difference.
here. Yeah, both
That's a
things work.
big
Yeah,
difference.
both
Yeah,
things.
yeah, you got both organs working now,
Both
right?
organs are working. Yeah.
Jeez.
Do you think so? You don't so you don't think that so if your kid came to you and was like, see, that's tough, man. When you're like a teenager or something like that, it's like, yo, I like this girl, dad. Da 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 da. You got to know that that's off, literally off physical. That's only off physical, right? That's only off
Yes.
physical seeing, and you knowing what you know now as a man in your 30s, what would you say to your kid? You'd pretty much break down like, are they?
Like if he or she came home with like told me, oh yeah, I met this person.
Yeah,
You
and
mean?
they just really like they're enamored almost now with this other person at school. The person likes them also. You're gonna go into character questions, right? You're gonna go into what like
You want to know what my
yeah,
first question would be?
sure,
I'd be like, tell me about her or him,
right.
right?
But all they're gonna do is
And they'll
tell
probably
you
start with saying,
what
they
he
say
does.
she or he starts saying, oh
They're on the
yes,
football team or
nice
something.
black lush hair. He's a football team.
Yeah,
Nah,
no, no, no,
I
no.
don't care
Yeah,
about his
right.
accolades.
Exactly.
Tell me about him.
Right.
They'd be like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you know about him? You see this stuff. You like the idea that maybe, yeah, they're on a football team or they're popular or they're not, or they're
No, no,
smart.
sure, sure.
What is it about this person that you actually know?
Right.
And I wouldn't be asking that to deter them from dating them. I'm asking that to get them thinking in the correct mindset.
Right.
So the next time they say, oh, I'm really into this guy or girl, they're thinking not because of sexuality or attractiveness, but like, no, I'm into them because I see the way they treat their friends, or I see the way that
they pick
always repay their debts, or
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
That was just one question. Like, tell me about them. Like, but actually tell me about them, right?
Yo, that's such an excellent response. I got nothing. I agree. That's exactly because what happens as you get older, you realize there's so much more to the game, right? It's not just that. It's just not just straight up what you see, not straight up like a 5-10 minute conversation after school. It's not Valentine's Day cards. It's like the real truth of everything is like, what is that person, right? Who is that person? Because because you already kind of judge and know your daughter or son, and you know the kind of person they are, and now you're truthfully asking straight up, hey, what do you know about this person, right? What
And
about
here's
this
the thing,
person makes you
though.
like
I
them?
also like, not even going to my like. I don't have a kid, but just in general, as general advice, I feel that judging character, people might say now, and I will say this. I might be putting myself on the hook, but people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be judging people." It's like 100% you should be judging people. What are you talking about? Like, you have to judge people to know what they're all about. Judgment doesn't mean that you segregate or stop talking to people necessarily. Judgment means that
Yeah, right.
you develop a case on this person in your mind, kind of related to value index, like you said,
Right.
and you just know what they're about. That's all it is, right? So I judge my best friends, I judge my acquaintances, I judge my family, everybody, based on, and by the word judge, I analyze and I know what they're about. That's all it is. And the reason why it's so important when it comes to love and relationships is because I think what you were just about to allude to is the fluff, the happy, fluffy first encounter attractiveness can only last so long,
Right.
right? Eventually you have to fall in love with this person's soul and their character and what they're actually about. And if you want to be with them for the rest of your life, you have to know that, hey, yes, this goes beyond the attractive. This goes beyond, how they speak. This is about, you should be able to know what they would do in all situations, and that is judging the person's character.
any man that mentions soul and loving soul, anything like that, yo, they're on another level of love. Like they're on a next level of understanding of shit, man. Like they're on a whole different. When you start talking about
No,
soul and all this
I'm
shit,
just on my second
yeah.
beer, so it's not, it's all, I just
Oh, he's loosening up. He's loosening up. He's gonna get it loose.
no, I'm being serious about it though. Like, and you have, like, that's what you got to know, right? Like, that's how lifelong friends think about it. Lifelong friends,
Yes. Yeah.
they're
I was gonna
lifelong
say
friends
that.
not because they're the best people in the world. It's because you guys are driving on the same wavelength. You guys can have a big ass fight. You can have differences. You can have distance, whatever it is. But the fact is, their character matches what you're down for, right? And that's what carries on those 10, 20, 30-year-old friendships, in my opinion, at least.
Yo, shout out to Bento, shout out to Forbes. You got me feeling. Yo, you got me feeling. I don't know if it's me or it's you. I don't know if it's me or it's you today, man. I don't know what's going on here. What's going on here? I don't know what's going on.
Yo, man, we just talking. That's how it is.
So, okay, I have a question for you, right? Before we put a bow on this.
Hit me.
In what instances have you been aware of yourself being judged, or do you consistently set yourself up to not be judged? So in ways of like, dressing a certain way, speaking a certain way, presenting yourself physically a certain way, so that judgment does not come to your character. You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of people do that. And I alluded to that as with the example of being around people now who are in a different tax bracket than the people who I grew up with, and not being around the people like me or people who look like me or you a lot, and that kind of culture, and already painting the brush, of a certain stereotype that they have in their community of such kinds of people. Do you present yourself in a way, in such a way that you almost you're protecting yourself from your character being judged? Do you ever find yourself doing that, or do you do that?
It's very circumstantial. So the short answer is yes, I do it, but the second part of it is not all the time. So I do it when I feel that it's important. As I grow older, so like in my 20s, for example, I would have no problem leaving the house looking however I look, right?
Right.
And now I find myself that if I'm going somewhere, even if it's like, even a grocery store or, an actual event, I try to make it so that I put myself together more appropriately, because I do know that the older you get, you never know who you're going to meet or what network you're going to bring up.
Yeah, sure.
Or what have you, right? But there are also circumstances where I don't care. Like if I'm going somewhere, I'm like, listen, I'm going here because I'm very chill or whatever it is. There's just some times where I'm like, I'm going exactly how I'm going, and it doesn't matter what people think. Right?
Do you find there was more emphasis put on your presentation in your dad and my dad's generation? I feel like there was more of that, like where
remember
these guys are clean shaven constantly.
Yeah, back from like I say the 30s to the 70s, let's just call it. That was the era where you had if you're not wearing a suit, you're nobody.
Right.
Right. Wear a suit. You gotta wear a proper hat. You gotta have the nice trench coat.
You guys going to the airport in suits, bro. Like just come home.
Because you're traveling. You're traveling. Exactly. It shows that you're prestigious. You're on a mission. Nowadays, I'm happy you say that, because I was telling Cece, for years I've been thinking, I'm like, I want to start buying suits. Not just buying shirts and pants. I want to buy suits.
Yeah.
To be one of those guys where I'm always wearing a nice blazer, turtleneck, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just because it's almost like a lost art. You know what I mean?
Yes. Gentleman.
But at the same time, it's not, because
classic man.
Art and fashion changes, right? But something to me, I honestly feel like I should have been born in it's like grown up in like the 1960s, because I loved like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Louis Armstrong, and that kind of
flavor,
vibe. Yeah. But it definitely has the car you drive, how you dress, if you have a haircut, if you're lined up I'll say this. When I see people, like as in guys and girls, who always have like their beards crisp, their hair perfect, eyebrow. They always look like they put time in. I'm like, all right, that person, they're particular. They take care of themselves, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Which might not be the right judgment, but that's
no, but it's true.
You know what I mean? Like I had a gas technician come to my house a few weeks back, and this guy just finished a full day of work. This guy looked like he just came fresh from Essence haircut. Like his hair was fresh, like even greased up. I'm like, that's impossible. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm like, no,
but he cares about what he cares about his presentation and his impression, right?
Yeah,
and his
I don't care that much.
And his character probably speaks to that too. I'm pretty sure he was a well-spoken person. He was like, that comes with the package. I feel like.
So what about you? It's like, what do you do? Like, do you?
I used to be that. I used to be. If I went to the gas station, bro, I was dressed nicely, fresh shoes.
Yeah, but you also live in Vaughan, so I feel like if you look a certain way, people are gonna cut you off.
Dude, you couldn't.
Yo,
find
everybody.
anybody.
Azam lives in the type of city where like the gas pumps don't even give you like the 87 or 89 option.
No,
it's like,
come on.
You're either getting 91 or you can't live in Vaughan, yo.
Yo, I used to be. I literally got married, and by the time Casey, my son, was born, he was born. I was hitting 29 and going on to 30. It just went like, if you see my hand here. Look at me now, bro. I am like, I would go like literally what I'm wearing right now. If something happened, not even an emergency, if like I needed to go buy something, I would literally walk out in this old Adidas hoodie, in this old Reebok pants, not matching, these jogging pants. I got no socks on. I'd put shoes on. Any shoes I could find, I would go. 10, 15 years ago, you could not find me not matched. I used to cut my hair. Yo, I used to cut my hair every 3 to 4 days. Shave every 2 days. Yeah.
Fresh.
Oh, buddy. Like, and my mom is so disappointed. My mom got to the point where she just like, one time she said to me, she's like, Azam, what happened to you? You used to wear all these clean clothes and I'm like, mommy, I can't even know what to tell you right now. I don't even know what to tell you right now.
Guy, I used to be the same. And it's like, it's almost like I went through like,
used to be the same way too? Yeah.
No, like I went to like, that's the thing though. Social circles have a huge, impact on that, because like when I was in high school and university, when I'm conscious of like how I look, yeah, I'm trying to match, looking fresh all the time. I go anywhere because I'm like, oh, I don't know who I'm going to meet, right? Whatever. And then kind of right after university, with stress of work, I'm like, all right, let me just relax a bit. But now that I'm like established rodeo, and now that I'm actually trying to big up myself even more, I'm like, no, I gotta look fresh as much as I can. I can definitely do better though. I would say that. I'm like, I just like, if I'm leaving, I just quickly, pick my head and line my beard up quickly, but not like, I don't put time into it.
Let me ask you a question. Do you get asked for directions? Do people ask you for directions?
Yes.
And do people stop you and be like, hey, do you know where this is? Hey, is this around here? Hey, where'd you find that? Like people
not like every day.
No, not every day, but it happens enough to know that like you could say this happened to you, right?
It's happened to me, but not in the same, on the same frequency that I think you're thinking, only because I kind of walk around looking very serious. So people think I'm very approachable. I've been told, I'm like, Frank, you walk around like you're on.
Yeah, you do have like a, even though
I don't smile when I walk.
You're not a tall guy, but you do have a stride. Like you have a fairly good.
I'm going. If I'm leaving my house, it's because I'm going to do something specific. I don't window shop. If I go to the mall, like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like
I noticed that back then, I would be asked, "Oh, hey sir, do you know where this is? Hey, do you know where that is?" Like that happened to me quite a bit, especially at York when I was at university and stuff like that. Now I offer my services. Like I noticed that I offer my like I have to offer.
Hey, do you need directions somewhere?
And everyone goes, not direction. Well, like, if I see like a lady putting something in a or someone looking to grab something from a high shelf, like at a
Yeah.
store, honest to God, dude, I'm telling
I
you,
off
10,
I
15
offer I offer
bags, like
ladies
duffel
or
bags
elderly people help to put their stuff in their car.
in the car. But
But I feel like a lot
yeah,
of times they're scared that like a black man's approaching them, so they just say no. I'm like, yeah, no problem.
but see, funny
I'm like, yeah,
enough,
no problem. Have a good day. And then I just see them like literally struggling for their life to live. I'm like, yo,
but see, if you approached like a elderly black woman or elderly like West Indian
oh
woman,
yeah,
oh buddy, it'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
nothing, right? It'd be nothing because there's no that judgment isn't. I feel like again, that's where I go to my point. I feel like the
Well, sorry,
judgment
I
of character
turned
isn't
one
there.
lady
Sure.
down though.
What?
Yo, hang on.
You had to go.
We were doing renos,
Okay.
and I was with Cece, and we were at Home Depot, and
Yes.
she can confirm the story. And we're about to leave, so we're leaving the store.
Yes.
I am dressed like in like dirty reno clothes. Okay,
Yes.
I don't have any orange on me at all.
Okay.
Home Depot, the color is orange.
Okay.
I'm leaving Home Depot. This older black lady saying, "Hey son, can you help me? Can you help me put this in my truck?" I look at what she's asking me. Yo, lady had easy like 30 to 40 sheets of drywall.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm like,
No,
yo,
that's understandable.
You asked me if
That's
you asked me if, like
understandable,
a
dude.
bag of concrete or like sod or like
How
maybe
did she
you
get
know
it
some.
there? She picked up her order or something like that.
She's picking up an order. I'm like,
That's
and
her fault, man. You know
Cece
what?
afterwards like, why would she ask you that? like, I'm sure. Listen, there's black unity. Don't get me wrong.
There is,
But yo,
yes.
there's a limit, yo. Like, I'm not gonna go lift up 30 pieces of drywall.
No. It's messed up, dude.
And mind you, this is while I had my stuff in my
You had
hand.
your shit, yeah. That's hilarious. No, that's understandable. I'm the first one to like leave it. Saida's gotten pissed at me, like, oh. I just hear, because she's like ready to go. The kids are ready to go. I'm like,
And you're there helping
yeah.
people.
I help this lady down the stairs one time. I'll hear it in the background
Yo, why is she so evil, yo?
because we had to go. So, like we were late for like.
Yeah, see,
something.
I'm
Yeah.
judging Sayeda right
See?
now, yo.
Yeah.
Judging her hard, yo.
That is so hilarious. Yeah. No, I probably would have done the same. I feel like I would have done the same. Like that is. So,
I wasn't helping her.
What did
I
you
wasn't
say?
helping. I'm sorry.
How did you say it to her?
I don't remember. I wasn't rude, but I think it was something along my stuff like, no, I either said no.
You have to acknowledge
if
the,
you ask inside, they
amount.
have somebody help you. Or I was like, no, sorry. No, I think honestly, I actually don't know what I said, but it wasn't rude. I know it was something where I think I was like really dumbfounded.
Yeah.
So I can't. Maybe Cece remembers, but I don't remember. I don't know what I said.
I feel like me now would be like, I would be looking like, you want me to help you with all that? No, man, you gotta go help gas somebody inside. You gotta go help.
No.
You gotta ask one of these guys inside.
No,
man.
no. You have to ask them the question that show that their request is so ridiculous. It's like, you want me to help you with all of that?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I guess this is a lot. Yeah, people work here for that.
Son,
Like,
could you help me with this?
What do you mean? Jeez, ridiculous.
Okay, do you wanna? So you know what? We're coming up on an hour. Let's put a bow on this one.
Fine.
Right?
Such a good one.
Yes.
Such a good one.
Okay.
I would say this one last
go
thing
ahead.
though.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I do enjoy putting judgment. I sound like I'm Pontius Pilate, like judgment people. But putting judgment on people
Mm-hmm.
and then finding that my judgment was correct.
Let's go on.
Right?
Yo, build on that. Let's not end this. Let's not bowl that. Go ahead.
There's just been times where, so this has to do in three.
But it's
three
usually is it a
situations.
negative way or a good way? Which
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
usually negative.
Yeah.
So we had our episode about lowered expectations,
Yes.
and yeah, when I meet someone, I'm like, if I see them, I just get a vibe. I'm like, this person isn't serious. They're gonna let me down. And in the past, I used to have optimism, then I get crushed, and then I know what was gonna happen, but I'll still have faith that they're gonna be the underdog and pull through, crushed. And now, if I get the sense that someone's gonna let me down, I automatically make plans to counter that for when it happens.
Really? Like, what do you mean let you down in any capacity? Like,
No,
coming
it's just like
over, like
if you can
going
judge character, when
somewhere.
you can see that people are, let's say, are more
Like
talk than actual action.
okay,
Oh yeah, we should hang out. Oh yeah, we should collab on this. Oh yeah, whatever. You
yes,
find out that they're just lying. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's just
yeah, yeah,
like,
sure,
all right. So I just don't take them seriously. So like my
gotcha.
action might just be as simple as saying yeah, yeah, cool, and then just not even chasing it or not even bearing any mind to it whatsoever. And with women, it is actually it's saved me a few times, but it's cost me more times than it saved me.
Mm.
With regards to, I met women, and there's one particular girl where I was just like, this girl's trouble. I know she's trouble. I know she's gonna give me trouble. But there was like enough interest
Yes,
where I was like curiosity, I should call
yeah,
it, where I was
sure,
like, uh, maybe she's not so bad. Like,
right.
I seriously thought,
Maybe
like,
you're
maybe it's
wrong,
just
right,
like, maybe I'm judging the book by the cover, and maybe I am wrong. This, you know what I mean?
right.
I
More
couldn't have
right.
been more right. And oh my gosh, it was one of the worst endings I've ever had. Big up this girl, cause fuck man, like you just taught me just not trust your stuff. I won't go off, but
Whoa.
but yeah, there were
Whoa.
times where like I'm like, this person's gonna let me down, or this person's deceitful or lazy, whatever it is, and bang on, just bang on, knew it. But there have been positive times as well. But obviously, people usually focus on the negative.
I'm usually very conscious of and like it's not the fact of like I don't want to say like I don't care like in the mean way, but it's almost like I already know the judgment is there based on like
Mm-hmm.
if I replay sometimes conversations or jokes, and like sometimes I can joke hard or like break balls
Yeah.
hard, and like I can see like the person who's not laughing, they already have like some idea of me, you know what I mean, like they have a judgment, they have that. But like I don't pull back, like I don't pull back and like adjust for the one person. Does that make sense? Like I won't
Yeah, I hear you.
yeah, I won't like
You stick to
I
who
just
you are,
yeah,
and
who
you
I am,
don't
but not in
adjust.
a rude way or like mean way, like oh I don't care. But I am conscious in the moments of when I'm being judged, and also I could look back on something, hearing about somebody saying they think away of me, and
Yep.
I always am able to rationalize like oh I could see how they could think that,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
like Chef Wong.
Yeah.
He didn't like me the first time he met me, and then, and that's the
Far,
thing. I sensed that like the whole Car Fight crew didn't like me because you guys were all dark in your damn corner
no,
shooting
not
basketball in
listen.
the
Frank is the first.
friggin'
I'm
thing.
not like that. I'm not like that. You were
But
the first
you
person
know,
I ever met.
you were the paradigm shift. You were the
I
paradigm
came
shift.
there, and also I didn't come there with history. I came there
But
with
listen,
looking at fresh faces. Yeah.
Jay, Scott, Wong. I was like, yo, these guys don't like me, but I'm like, I'm gonna make them like me because they're a part of a group that I want to be with. Like they were friends with Damon, for
Listen.
example, and I was like, yo, let me work my magic. And
I love those
through
guys.
15 years of persuasion, I finally convinced Marlon to enjoy my presence.
You know, Wong has mentioned that a lot of times, but I didn't know it was true. I thought he's just breaking balls. Like I never knew.
No,
I didn't.
100%. I sensed it
Yeah.
immediately. Like Wong naturally has kind of like a grumpy attitude to him, but I sensed immediately he did not like me, or like he wasn't down. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get rid of me because I was friends with all of his friends. So it's kind of like he had to.
He had to embrace it one way. He was going to embrace you one way or the other, kind of thing.
Yeah, but in the ending, it is very good to be. It's not bad. I would say this. Is not bad to judge at first sight. Not necessarily a bad thing, because that can actually save you, right? So it's not bad to judge at first sight. Two, love at first sight does not exist, in my opinion, but infatuation at first sight does, or curiosity, like I said. And usually you get to know the person through the second or third personal encounter.
Based on the character. Now you're judging character based on your encounters
Yes.
further. Yes, right. You're building
Exactly.
on that. Yeah.
And lastly, I am 100% conscious of people judging me, especially in the workplace, especially in the friend zone. Friends, I don't care as much because I am who I am. I'm a blunt person. I like to make borderline jokes. I speak my mind very honestly, and that's not going to change. Workplace, for obvious reasons, I do adjust it. But I am very aware of being judged because it happens everywhere. And that's my 3 cents right there. What's your closing thoughts, bro?
I mean, again, for me, it's just that I think that the judging is not wrong. I mean, it always is conceived as like a wrong thing. Like only God. People always say only God can judge me. No, should be judged. We all live here. We all live on Earth. We all
Only
are
God
here.
can judge me,
Like,
dude.
no.
I'm judging you.
Yeah, no, that is not fair. Like you should judge me too.
I'm in charge of your paycheck. What do you mean?
Yeah, like yo, Derek, man, you ain't showed up all week. Yo, only God could judge me. What are you trying to say? Like, no, bro, no, you are not. That's not right, man. Like I should, like I expect to be
All right, well,
judged.
God didn't judge you while you're on EI, bro. I'm sorry. Bye.
Like I expect to be judged myself, right? But I'm also conscious of the fact of it may not be true, right? And then I can also rectify if I want to. You could probably rectify a lot of that, right? Just same way you said that.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're wrong about the people we've judged, or the wrong about like the people who's maybe the first impression wasn't the greatest, you know. But maybe you got a chance to get to know that person, and you could look back and be like, yeah, that first impression wasn't good. But this is a really solid dude, or this is a solid girl. This is like this is a friendship, or this is a relationship that we can build on. You know what I mean? I want this person to come to my house. You know, like, hey, I'm doing this thing, come over. Also, in the same time, that person, especially if you don't know them well or know them for a long time, can also never be invited ever again, right? You can also never go back and see them again. And I think that's all fair, man. I feel like it's all fair. And I feel like it's fair to judge.
If a person's character is good enough to be, you have to remember, you're not trying to be best friends with everybody. A person's character just has to be good enough to be welcomed within your outer circle, which is an acquaintance. And then maybe over time they can build up to that inner circle, and you might realize, oh shit, this is actually, I'm very happy I didn't cast this person out, because they ended up, you know, being a very valuable network asset. So,
oh my God, balance.
With that said,
balance. With that said, Frank, that could only mean one thing.
It is time
for everybody's favorite weekly segment.
Favorite segment in the world.
Spittin'
in 5.
Do you need a medic? Do you have a red alert? Would you watch Schoolie D? Did you just watch like Cool in the Gang? Would you watch Cold Crush Brothers? You just saw the Cold Crush Brothers? Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. Oh my God.
You know what that was? That was a result of me forgetting that I do sound effects for Spittin' 5. And the first thing that came, because I'm like, yo, my throat's a little dry. So I was just like, yo, this roll with it, yo. But once you commit, you commit to it. So
oh, boy.
Welcome to the segment of the show called Spittin' in 5. What this is your reward for making it this far into the podcast. For those of you living underneath a rock, it is where Azam and I go on a 5-minute rant. It's not necessarily 5 minutes. It might be more, it might be less, on a topic of my choosing, and he does not know what the question or situation is.
Facts.
This week's Spittin' in 5 question.
Oh boy, they come to you.
No one's coming to you. I don't worry. I'm gonna hit you with the coming to you one week. I want you to name me what you think.
Okay.
Right. So Zan, what do you think are the top 3 things that men should not do or say to a woman to get her pissed off?
Top
3 things that just get any woman just riled up, or most women, let's call it.
So I'd probably say number one is like don't bring up
This is your
something.
number one or number three? Or
Oh,
are
I
they
gotta
ranked?
rank them. I would probably okay. So
No,
I'm
you
gonna
don't.
go.
No, you don't have to. You
Oh.
don't have to. You don't have to.
Okay.
I'm just asking.
That's just number one. This is number one.
All right.
I'd probably say bringing up old shit. That's probably the thing. Bringing up old shit.
Using their own weapon against them. I
Right.
see.
Telling them to calm down.
Of course. Standard protocol.
And third one, what go? Would probably be like trying to agree to disagree. Trying to agree to disagree has
What?
only ever backfired. It's only ever backfired on me. Because
What's a
what you hear,
situation like that?
yeah, because what you hear back is because what you're trying to what I try to do a lot of times is
Like, do you actually say I agree to disagree?
no, it's like, you know what, let's agree to disagree. You know what, maybe how I remember this situation, the conversation is different from how you remember it, and how you remember it is different from how I remember it. That's a 50-50 to me. That's a fair, let's agree to disagree. That has only gone awry in my experience. because you are then told, no, I'm not going to agree. I'm not agreeing to something that didn't happen. I'm not agreeing to something that didn't happen. I'm not agreeing to So those are my three. That's my three. Yeah,
That's
my
a good three. I like that. That last one I didn't see coming, to be honest.
That's a
Agree to
marriage
disagree.
three. That's a marriage three. Not even like a woman. That's
Usually if someone
three.
tells me agree to disagree, I'm like, whatever. I'm like, that just means no, whatever.
No, but it doesn't rile you up further, right? Like, say you're in a debate.
No.
Like you pulled agree to disagree, in Miami, right? Like I saw you say
yes.
in dispute. You know what, man? Let's agree to disagree. And
yeah, but
and it went left for you, but you on your end were like, you know what, man? Let's just leave it as, you know what, 50-50. Let's agree to disagree, right? Now that was with a guy, but in these situations, I'm giving you the marriage three. That's the solid marriage three for me, anyways. Because pre-marriage, none of that ever happened.
Well, the first three that come to mind for me.
Yes.
Number one, which I still don't understand, leaving the toilet seat up.
Gets her gets her going, eh? It happens to be that'd be in my top 5, maybe.
You know why I don't understand it?
I always check the toilet seat. Like, I don't understand. Do you not check?
In my mind, it's
seat?
like, why do I gotta put it down? Why don't you keep it up for me? You know what I mean?
Whoa. Well, now I see the situation.
Why do I always have to put it down? Why can't you keep it up?
You know what?
Right?
I'm not going to big you up, but I salute you.
It's equality.
I salute you.
It's an equal world.
I salute you for your
keep
bravery.
Keep it up for me.
Come on,
baby. Keep it up.
I salute you for your bravery. I'm not going to big you up, but I'm going to salute you. I salute you. That's like a 2 a.m. argument that doesn't need to happen. Like, oh, Frank.
Well, the argument
Frank,
I got
you gonna
is,
put down the seat again?
The argument
just
is,
keep it up.
Because I'm going to sit down.
Yeah, put it back up.
It's like, I don't want to sit down on the bare bowl. I'm like, why aren't you looking at the toilet before you sit?
Can I? Yeah.
Like, okay, if I go to doo-doo,
yes.
Okay,
yes.
I check the seat, and even if this seat can look pristine,
me too.
I still take toilet paper and wipe the sink seat, and I wipe underneath the front lip, right? Because your buddy might touch it, right? So it's like, yo, wipe it. So when someone tells me, let's be honest. When my girl tells me, oh, why am I checking the seat at 2 a.m.? I'm like, A, why are you peeing at 2 a.m.? 2, why aren't you checking the seat always? You should always be checking the seat.
Yeah, I don't understand that part of, like, why are you women not? Do you women just like grow up in your moms never say to you, "Hey, check the seat"? Like, I don't understand. Like, don't check the seat. Don't worry about checking the seat. Like, you just carry on tradition. Generations getting screwed.
You know what they should do?
Like, Brendan, put the seat down and wipe it.
They should create I'm going to patent this. They should create a spring-loaded toilet seat that automatically opens once you get up. So it's always good. It's the man's seat, yo. It's like, yo, you put it down.
Oh, okay, number 2.
So that's one thing. Number two is it's actually it's hypocritical when
I'm just laughing because I don't know. I don't know where he's gonna go, which could be anywhere.
oh, so when 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 I want something done, if I'm like, hey boobs, can you come through and
Oh
do
boy,
something?
this man's busting up. He's in conversation. I just want everybody who's listening. You are now gonna be in conversation with Frank. We're all sassy, okay? We're all sassy. let's all pretend we're sassy, okay? We are her.
Oh my
Go
gosh,
ahead,
it's
Frankie.
killing
Go ahead.
me. When I'm like, hey, I can be like, hey, can you come do this? Can you come do something for me quick? Right? Yo, she can just be like, she'll take like 5 minutes. I'm like, hey, are you coming? I'm coming. I'm like, shit. I'm all right. Cool. Yo,
What is these women?
if I dare
do they all have
take 20
meetings?
seconds, if she's like, Frank, can you come do something? I'm
Right
like,
there.
all right, hold up. Can you come now? I'm like, if I don't come right up. But if the guy doesn't jump to come right away, yo, you're getting yelled at in like 15 to 20 seconds.
I
Like,
feel
how come
like
you're not here yet?
When I hear you say this, it's like, do all you women listen? Any women listening right now? Do you guys all have these meetings together and be like, no, if this scenario happens, act like this, because that is the exact. I could ask my wife for like, hey, Sa, could you come help me for a sec? I gotta wait, dude. I gotta
Yes.
wait, and I gotta
You're waiting,
patiently
yo.
wait because guess what? You burn that bridge, she ain't coming at all, guy. She ain't coming at all.
Yes.
But when she
Yes.
calls me, I'm there. She's damn.
Like everything drop. Yo, you're holding your baby? Drop the baby, yo.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Come for a sec. You're right there. You're there in the sec. These guys?
In the sec.
No, man.
You're there in the sec. My last thing is I feel like women do not like to see their men very drunk. But it's okay for the guys to see their girl very drunk.
You're saying this gets them very pissed off? This was the thing, right?
Yes. Because I've seen so many times like at bars where the guy's girl is clearly gone. And if anything, they're just laughing. They're laughing about, oh man, they're carrying her out, taking her home, whatever.
Yeah, the girl's just
But
done.
if a girl's man is drunk, yo, she is just like straight up tight-lipped Karen face, just like just livid. It's like, yo, let the brethren have fun, man. He clearly had a rough week. He's with the boys. Just take it easy. When you're with the girls, you're like, no problem. I'll take care of you. Go keep drinking, babes. I got the bill. I got you. I'll get you in the car. I'll drive you home. I'll be sober. But if I get drunk, you were so drunk last night. Yeah, we were at a bar, bro. What do you mean?
This your first day out? I don't understand. We've been going out.
Birthday.
It's my birthday. It's a bitch's birthday.
Yeah, I always call that the Genuine throat. You know how when Genuine back in his songs, he's like, it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But he'd be like, wishing you come over to my place.
When he switch up his voice.
So anytime, this is off topic, anytime someone does that with their throat, I'm like, yo,
oh my God.
Genuine right there. It's my birthday.
Oh, that's a good one. That was a good one. You can find me and Frank anywhere you listen to music, anywhere you listen to podcasts. A coming of age.
Judge all you like.
A coming of age. Dot the podcast. Coming of age _ the podcast. You can find us on
subscribe, comment, please. That's what we love.
That's the best way you can support us.
Comment.
Yeah, best way you can support this show is hit us with a follow, comment, subscribe. That's the best way you can show us support. You can also email us at the podcast@gmail.com. To this date, I think we've only still gotten 2 solid emails from 2 solid people, Andrew Bent and Mrs. Wilson.
Yay.
But that being said, don't be shy. We still get hit up on our DMs and stuff like that. We're dropping now. I mean, I don't know if this is becoming common. It seems to be just because of me and Frank's schedule that we're dropping on Tuesdays. So still look out for us. Still follow us. Follow us again.
We're getting
IG,
back on schedule.
Yeah,
Just been very, very, very busy.
Yeah, super busy.
October, November, to be honest.
Yeah, big time. And
the fact that we got through, like I'd say August to October on schedule is pretty surprising because we were both crazy busy.
Yeah, stupid, and still going forward a lot too much stuff lined up. But we love doing this
is
show.
Stress relief. Is
yeah,
awesome
for sure. But anything else? Any parting words, Frankie? Let me just say this. I don't know what's gonna happen from the next episode. You were so sweet up today, man. On point. Had me feeling nice about myself, my own self.
Because of Spittin at 5, I'm definitely gonna have to cook dinner tomorrow and make Cece feel nice because she listens to the podcast at work, so she has all day in the drive home to prepare her cussing to me.
I don't understand why.
You want me to leave the toilet seat up?
I don't understand how they don't check this.
What you mean? You want to get drunk?
I would never be. I don't know a scenario when I would ever fall into a toilet bowl. Like, I don't know what the scenario is, dude, that I would fall into a toilet bowl. But
I don't know. Common sense. Listen, if I go to sit down on a bench on a chair, I look at the chair. I make sure the chair is there, and then I sit.
Am I sitting on anything? Yeah, right.
Yes. Am I sitting on anything?
Yeah. Am I gonna crush a plate? Crush a glass? Is there something there? Is there a child there? Is there a pet there? These guys walk into the toilet and just plant. I don't understand this. I don't understand that, yo.
It's like going to a restaurant, sitting in a chair. There's no cushion. Be like, yo, how come you guys don't have cushions? Like, why do you look at the seat? That's not a seat.
There's a sign there that says "Don't sit here."
Why don't you give me the cushion? Bring your own cushion.
Bring your own cushion.
It's like, it sounds dumb, right? All right, check your seat. We're under renovations. My bad. Sorry.
With that being said, this is episode 42. And
ladies, leave your seat up for your man. We out.
Choo-choo.